Welcome back to Magoo's Reviews. All right, y'all, this is my spoilers review. Again, my spoilers review for Masters of the Universe. Before we get to the video, we just passed 1,000 subscribers. We're on the road to 2,000. After that, we're going 10,000, 100,000. We're going to a million. We're claiming the will happen. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Definitely the like button at the bottom. All right, y'all, so Masters of the Universe, definitely one of my most anticipated summer movies. Dropping this year, finally got a chance to see it. Masters of the Universe, of course, is based off a very popular 80s cartoon about He-Man, Skeletor, Battle Cat, Teela, the legendary battles over in Eternia. So, real big fan of, I was born in 88, so I didn't grow up in the 80s. I grew up in the 90s, but I definitely watched reruns of He-Man, Thundercats, Transformers, all that stuff, Ninja Turtles, all those great popular 80s cartoons. So I'm definitely a big fan of Masters of the Universe. So I was excited for this in the trailers that I seen. Hey man, I'm like, all right, cool. It looks good. I love the costume design. I love the set. It looks very faithful to the cartoon adaptation that we all know and love. So I'm like, all right, man, let's check it out, see what it's like. Honestly, we're going to break it down to a couple parts, man. I'm going to break it down the story, break down the cast, and my overall feelings about it, right? Now, as far as the story goes, see Prince Adam, you know what I'm saying? He kind of, well, this is not really sports. Pretty much the plot line is Prince Adam. In the beginning, there's a big battle over in Eternia, you know what I'm saying? Man-at-Arms, who's played by Idris Elba. I got the cast up here, Skeletor, invades it. So it's like a huge battle, you know what I'm saying? Lockjaw. Everybody's, I'm a Trapjaw. They're all fighting in Eternia. Big battle. So where Prince Adam literally has to leave. He has to take the Sword of Power. He goes to Earth. Literally 15 years later, so now he's an adult. He has to travel back to Eternia, to take over. Kind of similar to Lion King. I put it like that. If you guys know the plot of Lion King and what happens, it's pretty much the plot of He-Man. That's a great example. If you know the plot of Lion King and what happens to Simba, where he was as royalty as a young boy, what happened, after Mufasa died, what I'm saying? It's kind of similar to Masters of the Universe, you know what I'm saying? And Teela, like Nala, is the one to bring him back to Eternia. That's a great example. Actually, that's a great example of what the plot is of Masters of the Universe. So the plot isn't real heavy, you know what I'm saying? So overall, like I said, it is what it is. Now, as far as the cast itself, I enjoyed this cast. I did enjoy this cast, and I definitely will say that Nicholas Galantine, who plays He-Man, he was good. He was good. He looked like him. The build, everything. He was in shape. Yes, so that was one thing about the He-Man movie. Like, all right, if you're going to do a He-Man movie, this guy playing He-Man, he has to be in shape. Physically, he has to be in shape for the role, because we all know what He-Man is, right? The lady who played Teela, Camila Mendez, beautiful, very beautiful, man. But she definitely, I loved how she played Teela. Very strong, but she could fight and everything like that. But Teela, she also had her sweet side to her, Man-at-Arms, Idris Elba. Definitely a different take of Man-at-Arms. So we all know Man-at-Arms, he is, white. He's a Caucasian in the cartoon, but he is black in this one, played by Idris Elba, who's still one of my favorite actors of all time. I love Idris Elba, great actor. In this one, pretty much, his plot line is, after he loses, the battle, the king gets taken away, Adam's father, and so is the prince. His mom, the queen. That's when he kind of falls, into drunkenness and everything like that. Teela kind of has to pick her father up. Just kind of giving a little bit of the plot. I'm not going to really go through all of it, but, you really see him kind of down his luck. We see him have to embrace the hero that he once was. Now, the other cast, Fisto, Ram Man, all the other ones, they're in there. And faithfully, they do look like the characters. I will definitely give them that. But to me, the main one in here besides He-Man who really sold the show, Skeletor. Jared Leto plays Skeletor, and he did a very good job playing Skeletor. And that's something that a lot of people were concerned about, because we know Jared Leto on the tabloids recently. But that's one thing I always gave Jared Leto is I think Jared Leto is a very good actor. I think Jared Leto is a very, very good actor. His resume does show that he definitely is a good actor. Now, are there some, movies in his resume that kind of like, Morbius and stuff? Yeah. But at the same time, he could still pull it off. And I think he did a very good job as Skeletor. How they did Skeletor too, like CGI wise, the costume, he looked good. He looked good, man. What I'm saying? He even had his little silly moments, his laugh and everything like that. So he was still faithful to Skeletor. You know what I'm saying? I definitely give him that. Like I said, I really do like the cast and all this. I thought this was a very strong cast overall. Now, negatives. Let's get into the negatives real quick. Negatives. The comedy didn't land. The comedy didn't land on a lot of this. Now, I know that He-Man in the past is known for being cheesy and stuff like that. There's a very funny moment towards the end where they're all doing the laugh with their, with their fists on their hips. leaning back, laughing, like very hysterical, similar to the cartoon. So when I saw that, I did laugh myself. I'm like, all right, that is. But as far as the comedy, now the theater was packed when I saw this, but the main ones laughing were the very little kids. You know what I'm saying? The very, very little kids, they were the main ones laughing. A lot of adults really weren't laughing at this. And that's one thing I can say is that I think maybe they tried their hand too much at the Marvel formula. You know what I'm saying? When you have because there was a very serious, nice moment in here with Man at Arms and Tila, towards the end. And, Prince Adam comes in and just breaks it up, with the comedy. And that's something similar to Ant-Man 1. If you guys have seen Ant-Man 1, a very similar moment where you have a very good scene where the drama builds up. You see like it's about to be payoff and everything like that. And just, we're going to slap it with a joke. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of jokes in here didn't land. If I'm being honest, a lot of jokes in here didn't land. There were some funny moments. But at the same time, it was just too much. It was too much. And that's one thing I can say about the comedy. It was very silly. It was very, very silly for the most part. My bad. But yeah, that was one of the negatives. Like I said, Battle Cat, you know what I'm saying? Now, I love Battle Cat, but sometimes looking at him, the CGI and everything like that, I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, wasn't the best, but a positive in here, the action. There was some very good action in this movie. There was some very good action in the opening battle scene, turning it like that big fight. That was a very good scene with Skeletor evades. Oh, that was a great scene. That was a very good scene. Of course, towards like, through the movie and everything like that, you see him actually, I have the power and transform into He-Man. That was a great scene. I saw it in IMAX too, so it was really loud too when he transformed into He-Man. Of course, real nice fight scene in there as well. Yeah, towards the end, the big battle, that was another good one too. Like I said, the fight between Trapjaw and He-Man, that was another good one as well. Like I said, overall, man, cool movie. Like I said, I do like it, but I really do think that the action upheld the movie for the most part, because that has to land. That absolutely has to land. Of course, the main fight between Skeletor and He-Man at the end, that was really cool as well. Very cool. But like I said, I do one thing. I'm very happy because when I saw the trailers, I was like, man, they're going to take a real serious route with Skeletor. Is he still going to be like the Skeletor that we know and love, where, yeah, he's serious, but he still has his funny moments? They definitely did that. So I think Skeletor was definitely the standout in this movie. Like, he had to knock it out the park, and I think they did a really good job. Jared Leto did a really good job with Skeletor. Like I said, Nicholas Galentine's as He-Man was great. Camila Mendez as Tila. Of course, Idris Elba. Overall, no problems with the cast. I thought the cast was very good. Thought the action was very good. The plot is thin, but like I say, if you know the plot of Lion King, it's similar to Masters of the Universe. You can literally look at Lion King and see Masters of the Universe. Like, all right, the plot literally is the same. You know what I'm saying? And also, like I said, the comedy was it was a little too silly at times, and it didn't land. The jokes didn't land for the most part. But overall, do I think this is a good time with the movies? Yes, I do. I think this is a movie that, yeah, if you're a fan of Masters of the Universe and you know about the characters and you know about the show, this is something that's very, like I said, it pays homage to the cartoon. It pays homage to the show, and it's nothing like out of the ordinary. They really do a good job with staying faithful for the most part. I will give them that. Now, box office. We're going to talk about box office. So this article's come from comicmovie.com, and the box office Masters of the Universe is not doing good at all. It's not doing good. And for me, this is sad because they do set up a sequel. They do set up a sequel at the end. I'm going to get to that after the article. But since Master Universe is a massive disaster at the box office with a weak 29.3 million opening. While the He-Man fans have praised the Masters of the Universe, audiences didn't show up for the movie this weekend. And it's proven a weakling at both domestic and international box offices, right? Getting right into it, says, as we first reported by FFGazette.com, the movie has grossed a mere 29.3 during its opening weekend at North American box office. And with a reported $200 million budget, it's impossible to see how the live-action reboot, which has received warm response from He-Man fans, can make enough money to warrant a follow-up. And I'm going to stop it right there, because that's something that I'm very, the follow-up, because this, it came out the same weekend as Scary Movie 6. The Wayans, but I'm going to go see that, and I'm going to get my review out for that one. I haven't got a chance to do it this weekend, but I will do a review for Scary Movie 6. But the Wayans brothers is back, Sean and Marlon, Keenan Ivory, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes, Kim, they all came back for Scary Movie. The whole original cast of Scary Movie came back. So when I saw Master Universe coming out the same time as Scary Movie 6, I had a feeling that was really going to affect his box office, and it sure did, because Scary Movie 6 made like 55 or 50 million opening weekend and 100 million worldwide. You know what I'm saying? So Scary Movie 6 definitely made its money back. It's definitely gonna get some sequels, but Masters of the Universe had a bigger budget, and to open at 29.3 and internationally, yeah, like that's going to be hard, man. Because here's the thing: they said, yeah, a global opening of 54.3. Scary Movie made that alone here in the States. Like that's a big deal. And like I said, coming up, you have Toy Story 5, the Supergirl movie. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really a huge fan and I'm not excited for that, but still, Toy Story 5 alone warrants like, oh shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like you could definitely get lost in the sauce with that alone. And of course, in July, you got bigger, more like the Minions, Spider-Man, Odyssey, so on and so forth. So it is sad to say, I don't know if we're going to get a sequel to Masters of the Universe. And that's just me being honest. Because for the movie to do this bad opening weekend, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And that's just, yeah, that's just my honest opinion. Now, spoilers alert. Again, spoilers. Stay for the post and end credit scene. Because you do see something that happens after the big battle between He-Man and Skeletor at the end. That's the end credit scene, but there's a mid-credit scene. In the mid-credit scene, it does set up a sequel. We see She-Ra. Again, we see She-Ra. Really nice shot. She looks just like her costume and everything. So I'm like, oh yeah, bet She-Ra's going to be in the sequel. This is great. I really do like this movie a whole lot. I'm going to purchase the movie. I'm going to buy it when it comes out. But I don't know, man. Just with that box office alone, I don't know if we're going to get a sequel. And that's sad to say because this was a solid movie. It was a solid movie. And again, my overall rating, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. I'm going to go 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was a solid movie. Like I said, there definitely are its negatives, you know what I'm saying? But still, Tom, it's a summer movie. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was a good, solid summer movie. And it's something that you could take the kids to go see as well. You know what I'm saying? You have little kids and stuff like that, 7, 8, 9 years old, and they're into, He-Man, boy, girl. Like, yeah, they're going to enjoy this movie. They will enjoy this movie. But overall, man, it's sad to say. Hopefully, but I don't know, man. With that box office and that budget, we may not get a sequel because it definitely sets up one. But hey, man, overall, the cast was good. The action was good. Like I said, the comedy was hit or miss. The plot was, the plot was the plot. It wasn't like Inception or anything like that. But at the same time, overall, for Masters of the Universe, 7.5 out of 10. I'm definitely going to purchase it when it does come out. That's my personal opinion. Anyway, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hope everybody has a blessed day, and I'll see y'all soon. Have a good one.